Let's start with the 996. The first thing you will need to do is disconnect your battery. For additional assistance with that task, please follow the link provided at the end of this video. The electrical portion of the ignition switch can be accessed from underneath the dashboard. First, you need to remove the heater air duct, insert photo, which blocks your access to the switch. Pull out the connector and then loosen up the set screws that are located behind the red marking paint. Blue arrow is pointing to one of the screws. Use a miniature flathead screwdriver. Access is tight, but the screws can be removed. To remove the ignition key cylinder, first begin by pulling out the rubber ignition switch surround, upper left. Then turn the ignition switch to position 1, ignition on, and insert a large paper clip into the release hole in the key cylinder, shown by the orange arrow. Push the paper clip in as far as possible. Insert the key, and that should release the mechanism and allow you to pull out the assembly. Finally, disconnect the small connector that attaches to the immobilizer induction coil, red arrow. Next, you will need to remove the gauge cluster. Pull out the microphone cover and remove the torque screw underneath. Image B, pull out the hazard switch button and remove the torque screw underneath. Image C, using some long pliers, grab the white plastic part of the hazard switch, shown in B, and pull it out of its plug. Press on the two black plastic tabs on either side of the white plastic switch and pull in the direction of the red arrow. Then slide the black connector in the direction of the green arrow. Image D, lift the gauge cluster up so that you can disconnect the wire harness on the back. This image details the steps required to remove the ignition cylinder steering lock assembly. With the headlamp switch and side dashboard piece removed, pull out the heater duct, blue arrow. Image B, remove the nut that fastens the lock assembly to the steering column, yellow arrow. Image C, from the left side of the dash, remove the torque screw that holds the small bracket to the dash. Image D, using a small screwdriver, push down on the push lock pin to release the lock assembly from the steering column, purple arrow. Image E, unplug the immobilizer harness, green arrow, and image F, pull out the entire lock assembly from behind the steering column. Shown here is the updated ignition cylinder steering lock assembly. The assembly typically includes an electrical ignition switch, shown attached at the rear of the assembly and separately in the lower right. Installation is the reverse of removal. The 997s are a lot easier. This photo shows the ignition switch for a 997. To remove the assembly, insert a trim removal tool under the plastic ring around the switch. Remove the ring and unscrew the nut underneath. Press the switch inwards and remove it from below the dash. Unplug the switch, and installation is the reverse of removal. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.